What is going on, guys? My name is Jeet, and in this video I'm going to be telling you how I use basically the law of attraction to manifest me living the anime life in Japan. In this video coming up soon. Let's go. A bit of a backstory, okay? So it all really started when I was a 14-year-old middle school kid, very shy, very little friends, very unconfident, and I swear to God, I'm sure you guys will not believe me, but I was like that during that time. And I mean, times have really changed, but during that time I was very depressed, very sad. I was going through a lot of problems in my family, in school as well, and there was problems everywhere. I had a crush on this Japanese girl, and she was in the same class as me during that time in middle school. And oh yeah, for those of you guys that just some background information, I'm actually Malaysian, but I grew up in Bangkok. When I was 8 years old, my family moved to Bangkok, and so I never really had the experience of living in my home country. And I went to an international school there. So I met this girl at this international school and had a huge crush on her, and somehow I became friends with her. So during that time, I had this huge crush on her. She introduced me to anime, Japanese culture, Japanese dramas, and all of that. And though it was really my first crush, one of my first crushes I had on a girl, and obviously during that time I got rejected and turned down, she was really the catalyst to me having this dream of wanting to go to Japan. And it was so strange during that time. Like, though I had a crush on this girl, right, it wasn't like I wanted to chase after her to go to Japan. It was more like, dude, this was amazing, like Japanese culture. And to be honest, the reason why, like a lot of reason why I'm still alive today, because of the problems I was facing at school. Like I got bullied a lot. I got my grades weren't like top notch or anything like that, and at home I was living in a broken family basically. Like, it was very bad, but that's a video for another day. And anime, and oh yeah, also I was going through like health problems. If you guys don't know, I have a disease called lymphedema, which my right foot is constantly swollen. So I was going through a lot of struggles as a 14-year-old kid, and I didn't really have the coping skills that I have today to cope with these things. And so anime was one of the things, and Japanese culture was one of the things that helped me kind of keep myself going. And through that, I wanted to do an exchange program and in Japan. And the exchange program was like, okay, like you had to kind of you have to apply like in high school. It's a high school exchange, and I wanted to apply to it, but basically I could not do it because my parents didn't let me, and my school didn't let me, and no one let me go, because I was taking an important exam. I had to take many important exams to get into a good university during that time. So I kind of gave up that dream of going to Japan. And oh yeah, I tried learning Japanese, like self-study Japanese, and that didn't turn out very well for my 14-year-old self. So I gave up my dream. Fast forward, at 18 years old, I was going to go to the UK to study, and I already got accepted to all the universities there. And I was like, okay, I had my path basically set up to me by my parents. Like, you're gonna study computer science because you're good in computer, you're a computer kind of guy, and basically, yep, your life is going to be determined by your parents, and you're going to get a good job, blah 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 blah. Fuck that shit. But basically, yeah, but I incidentally came across an opportunity that allowed me to do a four-year university program in Japan. And I was like, but all my applications already at that point were already sent out. So I was like, oh, well, like, I mean, I don't really have that drive anymore when I was like, compared to my 14-year-old self, where I wanted to actually go to Japan. So might as well maybe do something else, right? And just follow the path that was set by my parents to me. So incidentally as well, coincidentally, I had a Thai senior, that she was already studying in Japan, and she kind of convinced me to go towards the Japanese university route and maybe give it a shot, because you know it's something that it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I fought a lot with my parents to make it happen because I had a lot of problems like how are you going to get a job, how are you going to survive after you graduate, which were all legitimate concerns, but I wanted to do this. And by the way, this is coming from a perspective of a guy that has never done anything for himself in that life. Like, don't even talk about taking leadership opportunities or like putting yourself on camera and sharing like value. Don't even talk about that. A guy that will never do something for himself. And for me to be able to say, okay, fuck it, I'm just going to go after what I want in Japan was a huge not exactly self-esteem, but a huge confidence booster for me. And I just decided to take the leap of faith, and there was no evidence at that point of time to show that I was going to succeed in my life in Japan. But I had no experience learning Japanese. All my friends tried to stop me. Like, all my friends that I studied international school with, which by the way were not actually my friends, they said like, oh dude, you're gonna get like screwed over there. They said some crazy shit to me, but like they basically didn't want me to go. I just said, okay, hey, I'm gonna have to follow my heart and go to Japan. And so that was kind of at age 18 the journey of going to Japan. I've never lived by myself before. I don't even know how to do my laundry. I didn't know anything. I could not do my own laundry. I could not cook my own food. I had zero life skills, and going to a place where you could not speak the language, could not understand the culture, was something that was very scary. So basically, age 18, I was dropped in the middle of Japan. I went to Kanagawa, which was a place next to Tokyo. I basically was dropped into a dorm where 95% Japanese dorm, very little English speaking, basically none, okay? Like, even the foreigners there were like Chinese, Korean, they could not speak English. And I basically was like, fuck man, like what do I do? And I had no life skills as well, by the way. And from there, I kind of had to build myself back up. Build myself to the point where I can survive and integrate into Japanese university life. And that was exactly what I did. I first of all tried to just put myself out there socially and try to kind of speak Japanese in a way and integrate myself. But it was very difficult at first because I had no help with anyone speaking English. I remember some of the biggest memories I had were me always talking to like this random Japanese like students that was living in my dorm in English, and then switching to Japanese, and I had my dictionary up. I always had my dictionary up, and I would search up random words like and just translate it and just speak it. But that was kind of how I developed the skill of learning. That was the point where I developed the skill of learning Japanese, learning social skills, and learning how to be confident and self-reliant on myself to get the things I want. And so fast forward a couple of years, kind of did experience what many would call the anime life. So I experienced what many would call the anime life, where I did everything, like from the festivals, university festivals in Japan, and fireworks festivals, something called a gashuku, which was like where you go on an excursion with people like your friends or the people in your like club. And I was in like part of a music club and like a futsal club, which we had a lot of fun there. And from other things like me performing on stage and playing the guitar on stage and stuff like that, really it seems very like, okay, like playing guitar, there's so many people that play guitar on stage, there's so many people that are very more like successful than you. But to me it was very meaningful, and that was the most important thing, was because it was meaningful to me, going on trips, going on solo trips, exploring Japan, experiencing also just the mundane Japanese life, going karaoke with my friends, eating yakiniku, and not as a foreigner, but experiencing just the average Japanese student perspective, and I had basically barely any foreigner friends. Like, it was most of my foreigner friends came from like my course, the friends I hung out with my course, but outside of that it was just all Japanese. So I really felt I had the authentic kind of university life, 大学生の生活. It means like university student life in Japan, and that was something I wanted to do for a long time. I wanted to go on a high school exchange to experience the high school life, but I got the university experience, and that was something that nothing can take it away from me. Fast forward to 2016, I kind of decided to record my journey, or my self-improvement journey, on YouTube and in Japan, and I currently have made over 60 videos at this point. It's over 70 videos now at this point, and it was just me recording my self-improvement journey. How do you improve? Like, how do you overcome failure? How do you overcome rejection? Learning a new culture, all that sort of stuff. I recorded it and posted it on YouTube. And throughout this process of doing YouTube, being a university student in Japan, I just had the opportunity to meet so many amazing people along the way, that people that, let's just say, you wouldn't normally be able to meet in just your everyday life. And as someone that was the person that was least likely to be able to do that, like according to my middle school and high school friends, it was a huge accomplishment for me to be able to do that, to be able to achieve that. And that was something that I will always hold in my heart, and I feel that I really owe Japan and all my Japanese friends, all my teachers, all my co-workers as well, that they've provided me the opportunity to kind of experience the authentic Japanese university life. And you could say this was like the anime life, but I really felt it was the anime life. I'd just like to kind of discuss with you how you can do the same. I'm nothing very special, because I'm just a very average person. I think average intelligence, also average, maybe below average in looks as well, and everything average. But I'm able to experience this and experience the life that many would dream of because of 3 things I did, and I'd just like to share it with you in this video. And this is really called the law of attraction. Of you guys that are in probably the self-help community will have heard of it, and there are 3 steps that you gotta follow. The first step really is, and let me just turn myself and show you my lamp, because I like my lamp. Okay, so the first, sorry, shit, that was so random. The first step really is to have a vision in your mind. So coming from that perspective of when I was a shy kid, I had no reason to believe that I could live the life I live in Japan. I had no reason. There was nothing going on for me. Everything was shit around my life. So why was there a reason for me to believe? But I still held that vision in my mind that I could go to Japan and live an average Japanese university student life for a couple of years. And I had that vision. And that sometimes is enough, just having that vision. I remember there's a famous guy, his name is called Jack Canfield, he's a famous motivational speaker from America, and he said that if you have the vision, or if you can imagine yourself doing something, then that is yours. That is meant to be yours. For me personally, right, I could not imagine myself being like a famous footballer or gardener or chef, or I don't know what else, or like an astronaut, for example. I can't see myself doing that, right? But I could see myself going to Japan and living the anime life. So that was why having a vision sometimes is enough. When you have the vision, the universe will sometimes always conspire to help you bring that vision to fruition. And that was what happened to me. And sometimes it took longer than it should, but the first step is having the vision is sometimes enough. The second step would be to let go of when this is going to happen. Obviously, having the vision, you're going to have to work hard towards it, right? But sometimes the universe doesn't really give us a timeline. It gives us what we want when we least expect it. In my example, before I went to Japan, I wanted to apply to an exchange program, okay? It was like, I don't know, something called AFS. I'm not sure if you guys know, but AFS, Rotary, all these exchange programs. But I could not really get about doing it, and I thought I failed basically. I thought, hey, it was too late for me now because I'm 18. It really never is too late, to be honest. I know guys right now that I'm friends with people right now that they are just beginning the stages of building their dream life. I had a friend, he wanted to go to America, and he's same age as me, 24, 23 years old, and he hasn't really been on the hero's journey yet, but he's just getting started. And at age 18, I thought my life was over. Age 14, my life was over, but just looking back, it was just the beginning. But my point really is, sometimes we don't really get what we want immediately, and so that's why we must let go of when it's going to happen. It will happen when the time is right for you, and it could be many years down the line. And for me, it was 4 years down the line. At age 18, I had the opportunity to go to Japan at age 18, and it took 4 years to kind of make this dream a reality. But was it worth it? It was 10 times more worth it than if I went on an exchange for 6 months, high school exchange for 6 months, whereas I got to experience Japan for 5 years. 5 years. So that was something that was an important lesson that I like to share, and that is about letting go of when that your dream is going to happen. And the third step really is to never give up. Never give up. If this dream is meant to you, you should be going after that dream till the day you die, basically. It is never too late, and that's what I learned, that when I was 18, I just thought, oh dude, it's too late, I'm so old that my life is basically over at 18. And that was actually the opposite. My life was just beginning at 18 years old. Same for me right now, right? I'm 24 years old. I feel my life hasn't even started yet, okay? I just only experienced the tip of the iceberg. And so this is very important when we're working towards our goals and dreams, is to never give up. Keep on going. Keep on going. Sometimes the universe or life gives us failure because it wants us to appreciate and kind of learn the lessons that we need to be able to appreciate the thing we have. And imagine this, right? If actually before that, I like to share some of the stuff, some of the failures I had along my journey. One of them was obviously the exchange program I could not get into. In high school, in the past, I tried self-learning, self-teaching myself Japanese, and didn't work. In my beginning stages of when I was in Japan, I was trying to make friends as well. It was something that was extremely difficult, and I had a lot of failures, a lot of rejection, a lot of people saying no to me. But in the end, I managed to find my friend circle in university, and it took a lot of work, but it was all worth it in the end. It was my fucking time of my life, man. It was the time of my life, to be honest. So never really give up after your first failure. In fact, just keep. How many shots will it take to get 5 baskets? You need to take to get 5 baskets. It takes as many shots as it takes. You take 5 shots, you keep on shooting 25 shots, 100 shots, heck, even 1,000 shots. Keep on shooting till you get the 5 baskets in. Anyways, guys, this is just my message, and just an update for you guys that I've actually left Japan and I'm back living by myself here in Bangkok, and kind of focusing on my career options here. And leaving Japan at the end of the day was one of the hardest decisions I had to make. And I loved Japan. I loved all my friends. I loved all the people I encountered. They were so nice to me, so kind to me, and I could never probably, I want to do my best to repay everyone for helping me out during, like, when I was struggling, when I was going through a lot of things, like adapting to Japanese culture, as well having problems with my family back home. But I just decided that sometimes, you know, the time is up for your thing, and you just gotta go move on to the next stage. And that was why I came back to Bangkok, to focus more on doing like my stuff I want to do, at least career-wise. I think in the future I'll go back to Japan. I just think I really feel at home more in Japan, I feel, to be honest. And I didn't feel at home at Thailand or in Malaysia, even though, like, and that's a story for another day, just being a third culture kid, growing up as someone that never really lived in his host culture. But anyways, yep, I'm back in Bangkok. I'm going to be focusing on just my hobbies, my interests here. And yeah, I hope you got some value from this video. Anyways guys, if you like this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe to Simply Jeet for similar inspirational videos like this. Anyways guys, take action in your dreams, and best of luck, and I will talk to each and every single one of you guys soon. Take care guys.